Today's episode talks about the E word, energy. Let's face it, as mums, our energy levels have more ups and downs than the world's longest roller coaster. So today I share 3 ways to help you maintain your energy as much as possible, avoiding, most of the time, the lure of the biscuit tin. Hello and welcome to the Happy Thriving Mums podcast, the show that talks about the simple actions busy mums like you can take to prioritise your own happiness, health and fitness. And it doesn't stop there. This show also includes amazing stories from inspiring women who help others to be the best version of themselves. Because if you feel great, you thrive, and so does your family. Let's get started. Welcome to today's episode of Happy Thriving Mums. Today I am talking about energy and will be giving you 3 ideas to try to help you maintain your energy all day from a nutrition perspective. If you, like me, love a snack but would like to snack a little bit healthier, why not download my free snack swap cheat sheet? There's lots of ideas here to help you snack that little bit better, that little bit healthier, and feel like you're having a treat without having a real treat, if you see what I mean. The link is in the show notes. So, I don't know about you, but I talk and think about energy a lot in my house. I question constantly, how do my children have so much energy? How do my kids have so much more energy than me? I think I am quite an energetic person, but child energy, that is something else. I've had a theory on this for quite a while, and this is completely my own thinking, no science, not backed up by anything. But my theory is that we are all born with an amount of energy, and as we age, this amount of energy gets used up. So as a child, you have loads and loads of energy, you're running around, you're doing all the things, but then as you get older, your energy bar, like think in an old school video game, you know, the one at the top that starts off green and then goes like down, orange, down, red, warning, that kind of thing. As you age, it gets more and more depleted, so you feel more tired. I mean, to be honest, I think it's nonsense, and I think that the scientists would have a little bit to say with this idea. However, it is something and a thought that has kind of stuck with me throughout. I think we can like top it up with food, etc., but I think that's just a little thought that I've had. So I think that energy is so important, and we need it more than anything, but not all energy is equal. It can be talked about in a lot of different ways. Currently, I don't know, I'm sure you've probably seen this, but a popular one at the moment is the idea of main character energy, where you are the main character in your own life, you're taking centre stage, you're owning every minute. You're kind of like there living the life that you want, and that you are the focus. So main character energy it's kind of like everywhere, and lots of people are saying own your own main character energy, which I think for many of us it's easier said than done, but hey, a fun thing to give it a go maybe. You also feel energy from others. I mean, we've all been there when you're in a room or at a party or just in a coffee shop, then all of a sudden someone walks in who just oozes some kind of energy and magnetism. They kind of raise the vibrations of the whole feel of the place. They make people feel good. They make people feel positive, and there's something about them which just kind of like lifts everybody, and you have a conversation with them, and it's just really fun, and you feel kind of much more energized and positive because of it. So kind of like that kind of energy, the energy that somebody gives out. But then on the opposite side of that, we can surely also think about someone who has kind of done the same thing, walked into a room, a party, a cafe, but seemingly just like sucks the energy out of you when they're having a conversation with you. The environment, kind of any kind of sparkly feeling or goodness which was around is all of a sudden kind of absorbed and gone. It's very strange, but I think we've all had those kind of experiences where this has happened. I think that energy is everything. If you take the idea of energy in a kind of definitive term, it's defined as the capacity to do work or to produce change. So as a mum, we need a lot of it because we are always working, whether it's paid work or just like working around the home, looking after the kids, doing all of these things. We need to have a great amount of energy to be able to fulfill that capacity of whatever it is that we're doing. As a mum, you're also producing so much change on a daily basis. I mean, I have to kind of really be this top level negotiator in my house, trying to change the minds and the opinions of my children so that we can actually get out the door, or maybe they might eat a little bit more of their tea. You know what I mean? It's kind of high level negotiations. So we need energy for all of these things. And I'm sure that you know, our bodies need energy for every tiny movement, the blink of an eye, the grow of a toenail, all of these things. Energy plays into everything. So how do we get it? How do we get energy? Or more importantly, how can we have enough of it to help us not only get through our days, but thrive in doing so? Well, there are many ways. Prioritising sleep, aiming to get enough rest for you to recharge. Exercising, I know this is a bit of a counterintuitive one, but when you exercise, it can make you feel much more energized. And for me, this is my real go-to. If I ever feel a bit sluggish, I will then try my best to go for a quick walk, get outside, get some fresh air. And it really works. I come back and I feel a bit more able to kind of take on tasks and get on with the rest of the day. And also I exercise in the morning. I exercise every morning. And I find that really sets me up for the day. I feel much more energized after doing it. On the days where I don't exercise, so on a Sunday I don't do anything, I might go out for a walk or somewhere, a bike ride with the kids or something like that, but I don't actually do a workout session. But on Sundays, I do think I feel a bit more sluggish. And I mean, that might be a combination of the end of the week and just kind of taking that time just to rest and recover. But I wonder as well if it's not exercising on that day. But obviously rest is so important, because if you don't rest, you can't carry on with the rest of the things that you're doing, and you need to give yourself that break for recovery purposes from exercising and recovery purposes from the emotional goings on of the week. Another way to feel more energized is to have a little break. So if you're working all day, have that kind of like 10-minute movement break. I know it at school with the kids, when they're in lessons now, quite often they will be given a movement break, or they will be given something to do which helps them to kind of re-energize and focus that little bit better. I know at my kids' school they do kind of like little YouTube 5-minute movement workouts, which they absolutely love. I've done a few at home with the kids and they're quite funny. They're quite they're kind of like, they take some kind of old hard house anthem and then replace the words and then jump around a lot. It's actually quite exhausting. But any kind of little break, anything like that, anything which raises the way you feel, listening to music is an amazing one, doing something fun, all of these things are brilliant ways to help you raise your energy levels. But really, the most important way to ensure that you have good amounts of energy throughout the whole day is by eating and consuming a diet that is fueling yourself properly. The food that we eat is fuel. Our bodies then use that fuel to do the work. Like when you put the wrong petrol in a car, if you don't fuel your body correctly, we don't work at our optimum levels. Not all foods are equal in the nutrition that they give us, and too many unhealthy choices can lead us to feel sluggish, have poor concentration, and burn a short fuse. And I know for one, if I haven't eaten the right thing and don't have the right energy inside me, I can be quite miserable and quite short when things don't go as maybe planned in the home. I'm guilty of it, but we all know and have had those times when we are feeling a bit low on energy and reach for the biscuit tin for a quick pick-me-up. I love a biscuit. I don't know about anybody else. Ultimate biscuit, bit of a big debate here. I think it's got to be one of those Marks and Spencer ones where there's more chocolate than there is biscuit. You know the ones. What's yours? What's your favourite biscuit? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. As I've said before, I believe that no food is a bad food, but it's generally the quantity that you eat of it that can cause the problems. This, along with not following a balanced diet of what your body actually needs to be at its best, is when you can find that you might put on a bit of weight, or you start to kind of like not quite function as well as you possibly can. For energy purposes, there are 3 main food types that our bodies need and can make energy from. These are carbohydrates, fats, and also protein, which I think to some is a little bit of a surprise. So we use fat for slow, steady energy production. So this is used if, say for example, you're doing a marathon and you're getting into the later stages of the marathon run, fat is used as your main energy substrate, your main energy fuel to help you keep going. But also, fats are used for kind of just like everyday energy production. So when you're not doing anything at a particularly fast rate, so kind of like just when you're resting or just kind of being, fat is often used as their energy fuel for your body. Carbohydrates are generally the body's preferred source of energy. So this is the fuel that the bodies like to use best because they are there for quick energy releases. They are easily broken down to release energy so that we can work, our bodies can do the work that they need, and that we can then kind of just get on with everyday occurrences. So they're our go-to energy source, really. So that's the preferred one because they're easier to break down. Proteins are also used as energy, but this is like your last resort in energy production. So if all your body's used up all your carbohydrates, it's used up all the fats, it then turns to protein for energy needs if possible. However, it is also essential that we get enough protein in our diet because it can help to regulate our blood sugar levels. So when you take in food, when you eat different foods, the kind of makeup of those different foods, the scientific makeup, gives you different nutrients. So within that, there's sugars. So within carbohydrates, for example, there is sugars. And when you eat this, our blood sugar levels can be affected. And it is our blood sugar levels that we should be paying attention to, as when these fluctuate within our body, we can feel our energy spike. So we might feel really energetic for a little while, and we can also feel our energy dip. So that's when we become feeling tired and much more sluggish. What we ideally want is what our body prefers, which is to work in a state of homeostasis and equilibrium. So everything is working at a balanced or required level. So if we eat something that is particularly sugary, so for example, your biscuits, your chocolates, your sweets, all the really good stuff which tastes amazing, we have a peak in our blood sugar levels. But this can also come from other foods. So like fruit is actually quite highly sugary, and depending on what fruit you eat, your blood sugar levels can rise as well. It's the large fluctuations in blood sugar levels which are caused by the more kind of simple sugars which are found in biscuits, chocolates and sweets, which can put the body under stress. And therefore, when these changes occur, we need to manage this stress. And this is where your hormones come in. So your hormones come in and they regulate the sugar levels. They try and bring them back down to that balanced level that the body likes in order for it to work at its best capacity. So not only this, but eating things like biscuits and cakes have these simple sugars in them, which if you eat too much of them can lead to things like tooth decay and obesity. So it's really, really important that we actually look at what we eat and we manage it effectively. So what is it that we can actually do to try and maintain our energy levels all day, rather than give in to this urge to hit the sweet treats that will quench our sugar cravings in the short term, but in the long term can actually be a bit more problematic? Here are the 3 things that you can try. So, to help you feel energized all day long, firstly, we should aim to eat foods that give a slower release of energy, because this is what helps to keep our blood sugar levels that bit more constant. So eating starchy carbohydrates are really, really great for this. So your starchy carbohydrates are things like pasta, rice, porridge, things like sweet potatoes are really good as well. Because what they do is they help, when the body breaks them down, they are broken down slowly, releasing the energy within them, but at a rate that doesn't cause our blood sugar levels to go crazy and put stress on the body. They take longer to break down in this process, but they help to maintain our blood sugar levels so we don't feel these energy spikes and these energy dips. This kind of digestion as well, so breaking down things over a period of time, helps us to feel fuller for longer. So if you're feeling fuller for longer after meals, you're going to be less likely to snack. So eating fibre as well can really help this, because it helps to slow down the digestion of carbohydrates and therefore manage your blood sugar levels. And I mean, nature is an amazing thing, because quite often in a whole good range of vegetables, so for example like the sweet potato, there's quite a lot of fibre in that, as well as quite a lot of carbohydrate. So that kind of combination in that one food together allows your body to be getting what it needs and also helping you to feel fuller, which means you're less likely to go and snack. So carbohydrates should be about 50% of our diet, most of which we want to try and make them the starchy kind. And if you make it wholemeal as well, so kind of brown bread, wholemeal pasta, that's even better for all the reasons that I've just said. So as carbohydrates are the body's preferred source of energy, not eating the right kind is very likely to give your energy levels a dip later on in the day. So the second idea is, if you really, really feel like the only thing that's going to help you feel a bit more energized is eating that biscuit or chocolate, that is fine. But try to choose your treats more wisely, or even better, bake healthier versions of the treats you crave. So if you ever look at the nutritional value of a food, so you buy your food and then on the back of the packet you've got your nutritional value. It tells you how much carbohydrates are in there, how much of those are sugars, how much fat is in there, how much of that is saturated fat, that kind of thing. If you look at that, you can see the difference between different treats. So if you look at one type of biscuit and compare it to another type of biscuit, you'll be able to see the ones which are higher in the kind of simple sugars, which you don't really want to have so much of, and instead choose the ones which have got less sugar in them, which is going to help you out in the long run. Another means of doing this is by making them yourselves, because by doing this you are in more control of the nutritional value that the food has in it. For example, you could bake a batch of cookies with half the sugar content than the recipe suggests. They'll still taste really good, they're just that little bit better for you. Or you could use fruit to give sweetness instead. I mean, how many of us made banana bread in COVID time? To be honest, I'm a bit sick of banana bread. I'm not a big fan, but for some people it's delicious, and it is a better option because you use the banana for the sweetness, which is a natural sugar, rather than the refined sugars that you'll find in the kind of cookies, biscuits, cakes that you buy from the supermarket. Adding fruit can also give nutritional value, as they're packed with vitamins and minerals and can contain more fibre, especially if you've left the fruit skin on and it's appropriate to do so. Another option is, instead of reaching for a biscuit or a cake or something like that, is to just go straight for fruit. The natural sugars found within fruits are much better for you. They're easily absorbed, and although, as I said earlier, they can cause your sugar levels to spike, they don't do it in a way which is as detrimental to your health as eating biscuits and cakes. My final suggestion to help you stay energized all day is to ensure that you keep hydrated. Water is essential for all processes of the body to work most effectively. Therefore, we need it for the absorption of nutrients from our diet, we need it for digestion, as well as helping our brains to function at their best, amongst other reasons. Sometimes we might think we're a bit hungry or a bit tired, but actually we're a bit dehydrated instead. Therefore, ensuring we have had enough water in our day to help avoid this confusion between are we hungry, are we tired, or are we actually thirsty, helps us to feel more energized and therefore to function better. I would love to hear which of these 3 ideas you might try this week to see how it affects your energy levels during the day. And if you have more energy, you feel better, and you're able to enjoy your lives that little bit more. Don't forget to download your snack swap cheat sheet. The link is in the show notes. And lastly, I just want to say thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you have a wonderful week.